Good morning. Our hand that we're going to review is a 50 NL game. So back-to-back 50 NL. I think this is the same game. Just I think maybe the next hand. I think I had 13 hands the last yesterday. So this could be the very next hand. I get 7 to 10 early position. It's not really in there. Again, we play tight early position, so we fold. And then we have a raise first in here. No information on him. We've got a couple notes on him, but nothing about like what he could be opening. So I just kind of put together an opening range like this, about 22%. It's got your broadways, suited aces, pocket pairs, and so forth, and we'll go from there. Next guy calls. He's playing 44-10. Again, we've got some 60-some hands on here, but you know, when you look at it, he does play a lot. He raises first in some of the time, but we don't have a huge number of hands to really judge, and he does have limp first in. And we do call two bets. It's about 40% or so. So I think he probably raises more, raise first in. Not more. His raise first in stat probably includes quite a few hands that he just calls here. So like I think he would have probably raised all of the suited broadways, probably suited connectors, and more pocket pairs. But here, since there's already a raise in front of him, I think he checks. I am going to say that he three bets queens plus ace king. His three bet stat is 0 out of 17. Hasn't three bet before, so I'm just going to go with standard. And also, I have a note that he calls ace queen, calls a three bet with ace queen off in position. So I kind of think that if he's just calling that, I'm not sure if he would have three bet that, especially with his low frequencies. But again, sample size. Got to remember sample size. So this guy's got a big range. We're going to call it 33%. And then small blind three bets. Raises it up to 13, which I think is a pretty strong play. You're out of position. I probably would be better to do 14 or 15. So I think my standard here would be 12 against one player. And then since you have a caller, bump it up to 15. We don't necessarily mind if we take it down because we're out of position throughout the hand. But even if we get called, we should have a pretty decent hand. So when we look at three betting range, I went with something like that. And it's because he's playing 25-3. So a 2.6% three bet range. That's easily queens plus ace king. That's it. So queens plus ace kings 2.6%. I went a little bit more because of notes that I have on him. So for his notes, I do have a three bet range that includes tens and ace king. So I think if he has tens, I think I'm going to add jacks as well. Jacks as well, and then you definitely have ace king, and I assume ace queen would also be in there. If you're going to raise with tens and jacks, you're probably also doing it with ace queen. So what happens? Both players call. We don't have enough information here. Normally we're looking at this fold to three bet stat here, but he doesn't have anything. This guy, same thing, doesn't have that. So that kind of tells me that he is probably on a tighter range. I think we're going to. I'm going to eliminate queens. We're going to give 50% queens. I think ace king and ace kings, aces, and ace king, possibly four bet. Definitely aces. I bet kings. Ace king, I'm going to leave that as a 50%. We're better players. I think at 5 NL, it's almost automatic that people are going to be raising that. But at 50 NL, I think you're in position against a small blind who figures to have a decent hand, but with ace king, you block a lot. and most likely hands would have been then the queens, jacks, and tens. So I think those are all hands that they'd probably like to get it in. You expect him to bet, and I think we can kind of call. Um, if the flop pairs us ace or a king, he's going to probably check. You check behind, and you hope you induce him to bet on the turn from the river. And if he happens to catch and trip up, I mean, it happens. But I think that's how I'd go with it. So I'm going to keep his pocket pairs here. I'm going to keep suited tens. Suited aces, I think I'm going to really just eliminate a lot of these and just basically say ace 10 maybe. I think this. Something a lot tighter. This player, he's in position. He's the last act. I'm tempted to leave all of these hands in his range. Because he has that call 10. Go back here. He only needs 25% equity. I think probably they're going to play something like this. So I did narrow it down slightly. And we go to a flop. So queen 4-2. Villain bets 8, which I guess I'm okay with since it's three players. Versus one, I'd probably go that 1/3 to half. But since you have that extra caller here, pot's going to be larger. You could probably go, I mean, size is okay. But we also have to look at stack sizes. I'm going to go back to the flop here. So that's something that these guys are starting low. So it almost makes it like if they're going to play, they should have just shoved. And that sets up kind of an odd stack to pot ratio. I mean, it's 0.5 is really what we're looking at. It's less than 0.1. So you should commit if you're a pair. Like if this guy, if he has top pair plus, he's committed. So here you bet 8, which is about 25% for this guy, a little more than 25% for that guy. That's probably okay. What is he going to be betting? I think top pair plus is what he's betting. I don't think he's going to be betting jacks or tens. I don't. I think he's going to be going check call. Could surprise me, but I think that's probably what he's going to be doing. He shoves. This guy shoves. So this guy, we are probably those. We're not going to see the hand, but we're going to leave this so we can talk about all of the ranges. This guy shoves. I think that's top pair. I don't think he's shoving with anything worse than that. Top pair, maybe a set. And then that comes back to this guy. I think ace queen you call. He could split it. But if there's an ace queen out, you really reduce the number of combos that you have. So for the suited, if he has ace queen suited, and there's only 2 combos of ace queen remaining, and then offsuit, there's 9 combos out there. He has one, so there's, I guess we could 16. Let's see here. You start with 12. We have one out there that reduces it to 9. Right, 3, no, to 12. Yeah, I guess we've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, it reduces it to 9. That's what it is. So 9 combos, and then you can kind of exclude if we have one. If we have an ace, that reduces the number of ace queen combos. If we have ace queen, it further reduces it. I mean, really, if we have ace queen, there's a lot less likely that he has ace queen as well. But maybe since he's short stacked, you could theoretically say maybe he has something worse. So top pair, would he shove with all of the top pair hands, like queen 8, queen 9? Maybe for a short stack, yeah. I think we'll just leave those in. So this guy, top pair plus, I think it's reasonable for him to call. Runs out 7-8. Ace queen, he shows king. So they're both hands in the range. I'm just thinking, based on stack sizes, yeah, I think ace queen calls. Ace queen has to call if he has it. But if stacks are deeper, so he bet 8, he comes over the top with 26, and you still have, let's say, 60 big blinds remaining, 70 big blinds remaining. Do you call with top pair, top kicker? Because at that point, that's he's either making a play because he doesn't think you flopped the ace queen, or he himself has ace queen or better. And the ace, I do think like ace queen. I mean, would you really raise that with top pair, top kicker? I don't think so, because even if he's bluffing, even if he decides to bet tens or jacks here, I don't think he's betting on the turn, and I don't even think he's going to call that raise. So I don't like the raise if you have a much deeper stack. If with the short stacks, I kind of feel like the same thing. If you're on a short stack, he bets small, which maybe he would do that with jacks or tens, because he's betting small, knowing that if he gets raised, he'll just fold. So he's minimizing his losses at that point. So I'm not sure if I like that. Yeah, and the other thing is, when we think about the overpairs, I mean, 44% has ace queen, and then the other, so 56% then has overpair or better. So that's, I mean, it's not even, it's about a coin flip as to whether or not he has overpair of the ace queen. But since you already have ace queen, you block that. It makes it much more likely that he's going to have the kings or the aces here. So I think there's a lot of things going on. Could we get away from the hand? That's a hard one, but yes, I do think you could. And again, it's one of these things. When you think about 3-bet ranges, most players have a very tight 3-bet range on this board, and you call with ace queen, and you flop the queen, and he bets the 8. If you raise, you're only getting called by those overpairs. So why raise? I think that's the point. Why raise? You block with your ace queen, you block a large number of his ace queens, which means it's much more likely that he has kings or aces. So yeah, why raise with ace queen? Just call. If he bets again, that's very strong indication that he has kings or aces. And you can fold. Could he have ace queen? Yes, he could. Yes, he could. And you have the same hand. You're just basically drawing this split pot. Split pot. Split plot. A split pot. So it's just some of these things you have to consider. And I've done this. I mean, I was guilty of this a lot. And I actually just did it. Just kind of, I made the call on an all-in. I lost. And as I was kind of thinking it back through my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, I do think that's a logical place where he probably mostly has, trips or like an overpair. I had the overpairs is what I did. I think I had queens and he had aces. It was queens versus aces. So it's just one of those things where it was like, yeah, you know what? I don't really like my raise because if I raise, could I conceivably get called by a one pair hand? Um, at the 10 NL game, yeah, you will. Um, but the top pair, I think the board was 10 high or maybe jack high, and it's like, would they play the way they did? Was their bet sizing matching like a top pair top kicker? And I just didn't think so. So it happens. But I used to do this all the time where it's like, okay, I call with the ace queen. Um, maybe a short stack, he bets, I raise, and then I get shown aces or kings. Like, I can't believe how unlucky I got, or whatever. And it's not. When you think through it and say, wow, I've got blockers, it just really reduces how many hands he's going to have. And would he really make a call if he had jacks or tens? It almost just then becomes, you know what, this is very, he told me what he had, listen to my gut, and just either call, which I think calling on the turn or calling this flop is perfectly fine, just to see what he's going to do. And then on the river, or calling, and if he bets on the turn again, then you can just kind of give up. So I don't necessarily mind this guy's call pre-flop. He's in the cutoff. I think this could be a better 3-bet. Raise up to 10. When he comes over the top, if he 4-bets it, then I think you probably give up the ace queen, because you've already demonstrated strength by raising, and then he's demonstrating even more strength. And the 4-bet is really just like aces and kings, maybe ace king. Don't know what villain 2 had, but probably something that didn't pair up, and he could have had like an ace jack hand. So all right, hopefully you enjoy this hand. We're going to be off for the next couple of days. So next hand that you will see could be on Tuesday or Wednesday. Hope you're learning.